Good morning, traders. Today is Tuesday, May 3rd. My name is Charles, and this is the Pirate Traders live stream. All right, let's get our analysis on. Well, this morning I am coming into the market with no bias whatsoever. I could easily make a case for the market to go up, down, or sideways from here. And so I thought I'd just start off by kind of walking you through what those three different scenarios would look like to give you some insights on how to play it. So first and foremost, let's start with the market going higher, right? What we have is a balance area. The market has been bouncing around inside this balance area for a couple of days last week. And so we have what we call balance rules that tell us how to play a balance area. Now we're opening right on the low, so that doesn't really give us a clear signal one way or another. They could easily push up and then reject back below once again. But if they do push up into the balance area and stay up in there, it increases the odds significantly that we are heading to the opposite end of balance. Okay, that's what we would call a look below and fail, pulling back up into balance, and that increases the odds of a rotation to the opposite end. So what do I want to see this morning to give me a clue that that's what's taking place? Well, I'm focused on the overnight high, okay? Which to me feels like it's in a very interesting area. We've got these single prints that we left behind on Friday here. So the base of those single prints will act as resistance. As the market pushes up into it, that area will act as resistance. So being able to get above the overnight high would be a little bit bullish. But we've got a weak reference up here that needs repair. So that means the market might just need to poke up there, repair that, and then it'll pull right back down. So to me, if I was going to think about a trade to the opposite end of the balance, or really think about getting bullish today at all, I'd want to see the market push above that overnight high and then come back down and find support there for continuation higher. Okay, I want to see new buyers stepping in at this level. That would get me bullish for continuation higher. Anything other than that, it just won't get me bullish. It is worth noting on the bullish scenario that we had a spike up yesterday in the NQ, and well, now it's back inside the spike. Earlier it was above, so we almost had a gap up as well. But either way, opening inside the spike is bullish. So I would say the NQ is actually a little bit more bullish than the ES coming into the morning here. So the other scenario that we could see today is the market going lower, right? Which would be a continuation of the breakout of balance. This was the balance area. So breaking out to the downside often leads to excess to the downside. Multiple days of balance lead to multiple days of trending lower. We also have 3 days in a row of a trend down in the value on the daily. So values lower, values lower. Sorry, 2 days of a trend down. So that increases the odds just slightly that the market wants to go lower. So how would I see that play out? I would be laser focused on this node of volume right down here that ends at about 4107. If the market breaks that level, I would be looking for continuation at the very least to yesterday's low, and if not, monitoring for continuation to the upside. So bullish is getting above the overnight high and staying above it, and bearish is breaking below that 4107 level, looking for continuation to the downside. Okay, the third scenario is rotation, which it's not unheard of to spend a day grinding around a balance area low while the market tries to decide what it wants to do. And the fact that we have the FOMC meeting tomorrow, and there's going to be a lot of larger players that are going to step aside today because they want to wait to find out what's going to happen tomorrow, that increases the odds in my mind that we're going to have rotation. So I would say, 25% chance we push higher, 35% chance we push lower, 40% chance we just rotate sideways today. So I don't have a clear signal. I'm going to need to wait for the market to give me more information. Okay. We are opening inside the previous day's range, which of course increases the odds of chop early in the morning. So I'm keeping an eye on that overnight high. Whoops. Keeping an eye on that overnight high and that node of support down there at 4109, and looking to see how the market reacts to that. If it can't get above or below, or it just dips above or below and pulls back in, I will assume we're going to keep grinding around inside this range. Okay, so the NQ did open inside the spike, but is immediately pushing lower. So we can expect chop on there as well. Next support is 12,970. If you have not yet, please smash that thumbs up button. One small like for you, one giant support for me. Really helps that algorithm send people my way. Arthur, good morning to you. JB, good morning. Scooball, hello. Caffeine is here. David Glass in the house. Diego, good morning. Like the new YouTube cover. Thank you, sir. Cobra, good morning to you. RK Leon, good to see you. Been a minute. Welcome. Bob is here. Rev in the house. Eldora, good morning. Hustler forever. Good to see you. Philip is here. T-Bay in the house. Amir, good morning. Thank you, sir. Jack, good morning to you. The Shaw back with us. Hello. Dean in the house. Thank you, sir. Rocket, new pick needs a patch. Oh, man, that's such a good idea. Why didn't I think of that? I'll add that for tomorrow. That is a good idea. MW, good morning to you. Jose, welcome. Donkey, the sixth scenario, moon. I would call getting to the opposite end of balance mooning. That'd be a big day. All the way up there to 42.95. Phoenix, salutations. The overnight inventory was relatively neutral. They closed just a few points higher than they opened, and obviously they just rotated all night. So this is a sign of buyers stepping in first thing this morning with the ticks pushing higher. That's a little bit bullish. We'll see what happens when they get to that resistance at 41.72. John Lash, good morning to you. Jay Trader in the house, good to see you. Frank, I don't know what you wrote, but thanks for stopping by. Rocky's here. Good morning to you. Ronald, welcome. 7 Mile Reach. Good to see you. Badra, good morning. Daniel is here. Nor Auto Trader. Man, the whole gang is here. Good to see everyone. McStockster in the house. Trading Donkey says 35 VIX implies a 2% move daily in the S&P. 2%. Well, we shall have to see. Like I said, if they can get above that overnight high, I'll go long. Or if they get below that node at 4109, I'll get short. Catch some of that move. Bossman, good morning to you. Cobra, good to see you. Scott says, if not the moon, we're going straight to hell. Why so extreme, everyone? It is, breaking out of balance yesterday was bearish, but then you also got the wick on that daily, which was just like massive. So I could easily see us spending a day just dancing around here, trying to decide. Just chopping around in the overnight range. No signals just yet. Matthias, welcome. Good to have you. Oh, Nor Auto Trader. Well, welcome both as Frank and Nor. Good to have you. Did you push the thumbs up twice for me since you you logged in on both? Scott says NQ looking to go higher in a minute or two. Yeah, you could treat yesterday's high like I'm talking about the overnight high in the ES. If they can get above there, come back down and find support, that'd be viable for continuation to test the overnight high. But right now you got the bell-shaped curve. It's just chop. They're still trying to decide. Man, the NQ moves so fast. Oh, they're both moving fast. Okay, so somebody's accumulating something. I saw that Nor Auto Trader. Yeah, that was an interesting one. A single trader fat thumbed it and and caused the whole European market to have a massive dip. Uh, and you think they can't manipulate markets? They can do it on accident. Well, the market is not showing its hand this morning. We are literally just bouncing in the exact same range as the overnight. It's interesting that this volume cliff today is exactly where it was yesterday. Somebody really loves that 4150 number. Of course, they were net sellers there yesterday. We know. Amir, laugh out loud, wanted for a fat finger. Not literally wanted. He didn't break any laws or anything. He just messed up. I love how like Citigroup was like in their like comment, they were like, "We recognized the error right away and fixed it within minutes." Bet they took on a massive loss. Phoenix Future Trader 71 made a good point in his PM show. Overnight POCs, halfback settlement, VWAP were all very close. Price still maintaining a similar feel. You mean last night's overnight? Yeah, I mean the range was very, very tight. 2 nights in a row where they didn't know where to go. So they just kind of hang around a certain price. All right, sellers starting to take control of the market. First target to the downside, the overnight low. Lots of support in there. But we should be able to test it. 41.29. It's worth noting the market has a very, very high probability of testing at least one of the overnight high or low. It's like 90% of the time it tests at least one of them. So I generally feel like if it tries to push up to get to, a overnight high and it can't, that in my mind increases the odds just slightly that we'll test that overnight low. But lots of support waiting just below. OM, good morning to you. Scott, I think the NQ is going to hang where it is for 10 minutes, then pop at 10 a.m. Why? Is there news or something? Trading Donkey, balanced market, for sure. Look at the taper at the high and the low. They don't know where they want to go. All right, sellers seem to be still in control, trying to take the market lower. Never mind. It's a two-sided auction. Welcome, El Law and Juvs. Some new subscribers. Happy to have you. Trading Donkey. I read a short book yesterday called How I Made $2 Million in the Stock Market. Yeah, I have that. I haven't read it. By Nicholas Darvis. That's one of those I bought a long time ago and never cracked it open. I remember the person who I saw recommend it on a live stream or something like that, or a podcast, was like, ignore the title. They were like, the title is the worst title ever, but it's a good book. All right, well, we're stuck in a tight range. We've got relatively low volume compared to the norm. So I have a feeling the big boys may be stepping aside today, waiting for that FOMC news. It's probably just going to be algorithms and short-term traders picking each other's pockets here. He traded off of telegrams and just used the daily price quotes. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, even when you watch that video that I made of Paul Tudor Jones, it's the idea that he would call them on the phone and say get a position, and then hang up the phone and have to wait to find out what kind of position he had. That's so crazy to me. Tens of millions of dollars on the line, and he's just what do we have a position? How much did we sell? Very different time. Boy, they love that 4150 price level. It's like a giant magnet. All right, NQ looking to get above yesterday's high. Once again, to me, it would be bullish if they can get above yesterday's high and then come back down and find support in here. That would be bullish. Can they do it? Screwball, I feel a little bullish. Ticks are doing a good job. Yeah. I just keep reminding myself that if the bigger players aren't playing, that any move can be reversed very, very quickly, right? Because it's all short-term traders and algorithms. And short-term traders and algorithms will get out of a position very, very fast. So I really have to see the market push above on the ES, the overnight high, and see the support before I trust it. Yeah, we're getting to about average volume now. But they're buying and selling the same level over and over again. It's just chop. It's not the market choosing a position. It's the market picking each other's pockets. Okay, there's the push above the overnight high for the NQ. Now we're looking for support when it pulls back down around 1380s. Can the buyers hold it up here? Okay, poor high on the ES. Normally we get a push away from a poor high. If they immediately repair it, that would be more bullish. Man, they're selling exactly at the poor high. That's weak. Weak sellers up there. Bad taper. Okay, this poor high really needs a repair. Should get a little pop to test that 41.71 level. Boss man, lots of aggressive selling. Yeah, but they're selling one tick below yesterday's high. So we know who those sellers are. They're short term. That's not a big money player selling yesterday's high like that. So as soon as this breaks, we should get a little pop. As those sellers will have their shorts right there. I'm sorry, their stops right there. WTF, it is so weird that they're piling on at this exact level. That is so bizarre. All right, so now we're looking to test the base of those single prints down at 41.71.50, looking for resistance there. NQ's looking bullish. Still feel like it needs to pull back down to test yesterday's high. We got some low volume nodes in here. So we should be waiting for that support as confirmation before we get long. But it is bullish. They got the value area pressing right up against the high of the day. Waiting on support. Mateus, I smashed that like button. Appreciate it, brother. Screwball, no short squeeze. Yeah, you're right. I cannot believe we only got like a couple of points out of that. When what should happens doesn't. It feels to me like it's going to be a chop day, like it's going to be rotation in a tight range. There's, as Jim Dalton would say, there's no leadership in the market, at least on the ES. So looking for the buyers to start stepping in here on the NQ if they want to get continuation to the upside. All right, NQ failing to find support at yesterday's high. I wouldn't describe it as bearish, but it's more neutral. If they were ready to take the market higher today, there should have been buyers that wanted to step in up there. So this feels more like rotation. Looking for support around 13,025. ES once again failed to get to the overnight high, increasing the odds that we're going to test the overnight low. Screwball, the sellers at, I assume you mean poor high, just won some money. Yeah. That's what happened. They accumulated their position here and then took profits up here. Accumulated up here and then took profits down here. The old whipsaw. And the rotation continues. Making good taper at the low. Today is a day that will require patience. Obviously, it feels like rotation. It feels like it's just going to be short-term traders and algorithms picking each other's pockets. But we should get a larger range. At some point, we should break below the overnight low or above the overnight high. But it feels like as soon as we do, there's going to be buyers waiting down there and sellers up there. So I think we may be range bound while the market waits for the FOMC tomorrow. Jarvis, sellers would probably not take profits here, but at yesterday's low, I disagree. Right? They're shorter term traders. Think about it like scalpers. Not literally scalpers, but that same concept. They don't want to sit in a trade all day long waiting for it to get to the opposite end. They want to get in. They want to take their profits. Get in, take their profits. Rinse, repeat. Rinse, repeat. And that's exactly what they're doing. It pushes to here, it goes up to there. It pushes to here, it goes up to there. They're just going long, taking profits, going short, taking profits, going long, taking profits. And they can do that all day long. Like I said, I expect a bigger range than this, but we'll probably have a day that looks something like this. Unless something changes, unless some piece of news or, some big seller comes in and just sells really hard or buys really hard. As long as it's just us and the algorithms, rotation. Which is fine by me. As soon as we get that trend beginning one way and then it breaks and we get cessation, I'll just take my rotational trades all day long. Screwball ticks are bullish. I mean, a little, but really not that bullish. They are making higher lows, and they are staying above the zero line. But it kind of has more of a rotational vibe. Scoop all. Once again, ticks are more bullish. Yeah, let's let price action prove the point. I think the ticks are just short-term traders. Let's let price action. Like I said, they got to get above a high, the overnight high for the ES or yesterday's high for the NQ, and then find support. Only then will I look at the ticks and worry about, is it buyers or sellers? Because right now I think it's just the same buyers and sellers on both sides of the market. So the ticks are down for a minute when they're selling, and then they're back up when they're buying, and they're just rotating. So to me, it's very interesting that twice now we tried to backfill those single prints from Friday and couldn't do it. Right? Generally, if you have these single prints left behind from a previous day, the next day when you push up into them, you can very easily get to the base, but then there's resistance at the base. But then look, both yesterday and today, we failed to fill those single prints. There's just nothing bullish about that. So yeah, I wouldn't get too obsessed with the ticks right now. The market is rotating. They're just pushing it up so they can smack it back down. Not because they're trying to take it higher. All right, well, with the printing of the C period here, we can look for which direction it breaks the initial balance. So if it breaks it to the upside, we can look for continuation to the upside. And if it breaks it to the downside, continuation to the downside. But like I said, you're not going to get me to buy the ES until we get above that overnight high and find support there. There's resistance waiting at 41.72. And there's a weak reference in need of repair at 41.78. So it could just as easily poke up there and then pull right back down. So I got to see new buyers above that overnight high to get me long. Or if we poke the C period above the B and then come back down below the B period low, I'll look for rotational trades. Patience. My young Padawan. Okay, we also left a poor high behind, so that increases the odds we'll come back and repair that at some point, which would get the initial bounce to the upside. So there you go. Ticks right back below the zero line. They just pushed it up so they could smack it back down. With that, I shall bid you all farewell. Have a great rest of your day. Happy Tuesday. And we shall see you here tomorrow morning. If you're a member of the brigade, I'll see you on the private stream. Thanks a lot. Have a great rest of your day.